Montpellier. The program has been running for 30 years here and is very well established. We have strong connections with the university and with the local community. You have to know that in Montpellier, 1 out of 3 people is around the age of 20, and you should feel right in here.
I've been studying French since middle school and kind of on and off, and I just wanted the opportunity to really kind of master the language. And I felt like the only way to really do that is to live in France, and I've always been interested in the culture. I wanted to meet native French people, and I wanted to challenge myself and see if I could figure out a way to integrate into the French culture.
It's quaint, it's easy to navigate, the tram system is really efficient, which I like.
As the city itself, it's very modern. Now they say it's the one of the fastest growing ones in the country, and you can really see it with just like, you know, the trams we have going everywhere and all the stores popping up. You see construction kind of going on, and it's really kind of nice to see this sort of, you know, vibrancy, this life in a city.
But this is nice because it still feels like a metropolitan area a little bit. And then if you live with a host family, you usually live in a suburb. So for me, it was kind of similar to my situation at home, living in a suburb and going to school in a city.
I live in a suburb just outside of Montpellier called Saint-Jean-de-Vedas.
I'm living in an apartment. I've got one roommate. It's an apartment actually located right in the middle of the city. We got really lucky. It's above this place, Place Saint-Jauras, and so there's tons of cafes outside.
This is my housemate, Christian. It's just the two of us, which is honestly great for me because I have all of her attention all of the time. So we'll talk over dinner about whatever and get out the dictionary and, you know, go over words that I don't know as I'm trying to talk about my day or whatever. I go to school all day and then doing that in French and come home and continue speaking French, continue, you know, hearing TV, radio in French. It definitely makes a big difference for me. That was one of the biggest reasons I chose to live with a host family, because I didn't want there to be that gap between what I do at school and what I do at home.
I'm going to be working 6 to 8 hours a week, and I've chosen to work at the veterinarian here. I've always loved animals, and I've always wanted to learn more about that kind of science, and to be able to have that opportunity while improving my French and learning about the French workplace seemed very, very valuable and cool to me.
When we first got here, we did a little tour with Corinne, and she was talking about, or when we passed by the bookshop where I'm interning at, she said that other people have interned there before, and it sounded like something that I'd be interested in doing. I've been serving and just having small talk, or just saying hi, goodbye in French to people.
There's all different types of classes. For example, I'm taking some classes at the French University with Anglophone students, with English-speaking students, which is nice because they're taught in French by a French professor, French coursework, but everyone's at the same level of trying to acquire the language. So that's nice. And here for the University of Minnesota program, there's classes at the bureau, at the office, where we are with other students within our program and where we study, obviously from French speaking professors. So those are nice. But then of course there's the integrated classes, which that's the real challenge. Those are at the university with the French students. You're probably the only American, most likely. And those are a real challenge, but I think those are the ones which I'm going to get the most from.
Even if you're worried about making friends, there's definitely a lot of people, English speakers in the program you can make friends with, and even there's events, like there's a Babble Bar, a couple events that are hosted that you can go to.
There's all kinds of people who are there for you to make sure that the program goes well.
I want to be a very dynamic person, and I really want to grow and change.
Well, I think this experience really teaches us a lot of independence, really kind of having students, you know, having to figure out stuff on their own, and part of that is, you know, going and just, you know, courageously just trying talking in French and knowing that you're going to sound a little stupid, but it's okay because you're giving it a shot. And I think, you know, for future employers and for graduate schools, to see someone who's willing to really put yourself out there, to really take some risks in order to get something out of it. And, you know, for us, that might be learning the language. And not only will that be a skill you can apply to your job or in a graduate capacity, but also knowing that you had to kind of teach yourself how to learn that language and teach yourself how to learn things, and you do that through experience. And I think that's something you could talk about in an interview, and I think it's something that future employers and graduate schools will kind of just see and understand.
And for grad schools too, they want to see that you've done challenging academic work, and I feel like the work at Paul Valéry is challenging because you're with other French students. So hopefully when I apply for grad school or when I apply for jobs, they'll ask me about that. I'll say, look, I took a risk and it worked out.
We look forward to seeing you very soon here.